with me? Not yet, but I know that there will be some people jumping on board today. So let's go ahead and let's move. Look at this. So it's like to have a daughter named Bunny. Everything she owns is bunnies. Pretty funny for a bunny. Well, it's a beautiful day. It's a little overcast today out here in sunny Sacramento, California. But I'm just excited. I wanted to do this for a while. I've been kind of pumping them out on Thursdays just when I have some free time, but today seemed like a great day in between meetings to jump on here and just spend a few minutes with you guys answering questions and just helping wherever I can. So if you guys can hear me, you can see me. Here's my chat. There we go. If you guys can hear me and see me, please drop a hello. Let me know that you're watching. Let me make sure that this actually posted. I think it did. So let's see if anybody's watching. In fact, let me paste this in my Sacramento. Let's see here. I got a notification just a bit ago. I'll paste this in here. Live stream. So I've been announcing that I've been doing this since yesterday. I pumped it out on a bunch of different pages, so I'm sure some people will jump in here. It may just take a few minutes. I know a lot of people are working from home. Many people are out of work. Unfortunately, it's very sad to see. It's just a bummer. But I want to be able to just answer any questions that you may have. It might be for me. You may have some questions for me. You may have some questions about me personally, maybe me in marketing. I'm just open. I'm an open book today. I just want to hang out for a bit. I'm drinking my yerba mate. Maybe you have a question about what the heck these yerba mate things that I've been drinking all the time. All right. So I'll be hanging with you here for the next little bit. I'm going to run this probably for about a half an hour. And so I'm just going to kind of ramble and talk and share a little bit about what I got going on in the meantime with this whole Corona thing. You know, the beauty of what I've been able to do over the last couple of years has been pretty profound, just from the sense of being able to have the freedom to work from home when I want to, or go to my office and work from my office and record videos, or go to my clients' offices, which is where I spend probably 50–60% of my time is actually at my clients' offices. Not these last few weeks, unfortunately, but it's a powerful thing to be able to have that kind of freedom. And it gives me the ability to really build a business and craft a business around my lifestyle and what I want, and what some people like Tim Ferriss call lifestyle design. And I think there are a lot of people that are going to wake up to that now with this coronavirus thing going on. And I was having a conversation with an old friend of mine last night for quite some time about what the future holds, how team meetings are going to continue to move forward. And let me put that on silent here because I don't want this interrupting what we got going on. There we go. All right. Let me take a picture of my video here. There we go. So, oh, close that out too. Let me hit my notifications. Do not disturb. Let me make sure that's on. We'll turn off. So let me just close this out. I got some things open here that need to be closed. If you are on the video, say hello. Drop in your name. Introduce yourself. Let's see here. What does this say up here? Perfect. So I've shared the meeting and I am streaming. Let me just go confirm that I'm streaming on YouTube. So let's see here. I'm going to go to YouTube. We'll go check this out. If none of you guys have done this, I'm going to probably do a tutorial on this. Let's see here. It doesn't look like it's actually streaming, but we're going to find out here right now. I am streaming. Look at that. How cool. So I'm live now. Very, very cool. So one of the things I wanted to do too that has been a big part of my success in the last month, I would say, is using my LinkedIn tool has really blown up my YouTube channel. When I started this whole thing, I think I had 110 subscribers, and now I'm at like 178 and counting. It's just been going up by 2 or 3 people every single day, just by nurturing my existing LinkedIn connections. That's just going in there and letting people know what I'm doing. And I've been really trying to improve my messaging of letting people know that I'm on YouTube and doing what I'm doing. And the feedback that I've been getting from people is just incredible. They love the videos, they love the content, and they had a lot of great criticisms and areas that I can improve on, which I'm always looking for. And that's, you know, just the essential thing to grow is you've got to be willing to accept outside. I'm actually going to hibernate this tab here. Let's hibernate, which is another video. I can make something, a whole video on just that alone of hibernating tabs. But there's a really cool tool. If you're like me and you have like 500 tabs open, actually I have 106 total tabs. Let's see here. Come on, hibernate tab. I'm going to hibernate all tabs. There we go. So I just hibernated all my tabs. So there's this Chrome extension that you can use. You can download from the market that they have. It's like the store that they have, and it's a hibernate tabs feature. So I've been able to hibernate my tabs to just save me a lot of my energy and power to my computer in terms of my RAM and speed and stuff. So while I'm working on videos or editing or doing graphic stuff, I'm able to just go in and make a lot of changes. So I'm just going to wait a few more minutes here for people to jump on in. And in the meantime, you can see this is the graphic that I created. If you don't know how to use Photoshop, this is a really great platform to be able to create quick graphics. I use Photoshop a bit for just fast stuff, but most of the time I'm using Adobe Illustrator. You can see it's #1 here for me. I use Adobe Illustrator, but work a lot in layers, and layers are very important. And a lot of people miss this, and I do, even myself. This is Adrian headshot of organizing your layers. And it may seem like a small thing to organize them for yourself, but in all reality, so this is I can merge this in together here, Command E, and then I can change the name again, Adrian headshot. But it's important to organize your layers. I do it on a lot of my stuff so that if you're ever sending your files to a client, they're not having to try to decode the puzzle to make a change to something. So I usually break it into categories. Like what I'll do here is I'll take this and I'll make this a group. This top, oh, actually you may not be able to see my screen. Ha, what a silly guy. Okay, hold on, let me share my screen. So while I'm waiting, here we go. Beautiful, look at that. So you can see in Photoshop, you should be able to see, there we go. Boom. Let me just do my whole screen actually, because this is a big deal. I want you guys to be able to see this. So let's pull this back open. Share screen, where was that? How do I find that? Share screen, stop share. Okay, let me try it again. Share, I'm gonna share my desktop. There we go. Nice, okay, so now it's showing my whole desktop, right? So you can see here, I grouped some of these things together. You can see I created a group here, so you can see this is my top graphic. This is today, this is, and then I can put dates on here. So this is, I'll group this, Command G or Control G, and then the dates. And then there's my headshot in here. You can do, and then there's the YouTube logo. So I will label this YouTube logo. So now you can see my stuff is very clean and organized. This is the background. I can unlock the background just by hitting Alt or Option and double clicking it. And this allows me to create a new layer. This right here is a new layer. I can flip flop it if I want to for a different day. Like if I'm going to do this next week, go into here to my brush tool or my paint bucket tool, just drop it into a black. That looks pretty nice. I could even swap out this photo if I want, but I can just switch the date in here. I can just turn these layers off and on and just do as I need with it. And this would be backgrounds, right? So I group that together and call these backgrounds. And then I could even make this and group this together and call this assets. And then you could even color code these. So if you right click, actually I think it's over here. There you go, you can color code them. So you can get really organized. If you're a organized person, detail oriented type of person, this is OCD to the next level. This is something that you can do in Photoshop and just really categorize them and create color keys and just all kinds of stuff depending on how detailed your graphics are to make things more organized and clean, especially if you're going to be sending these files to a client. You want it to come across clean, especially like Photoshop files or Illustrator files. Label your stuff. You don't have to color code it. I think that's a little overboard, but I think it's great to label it and group things together. I group a lot of my stuff together. These are just assets now that I can turn off and on and control and just have more power over. So now I'm going to save this, close it. It's going to ask me to save it. I hit save. Boom, there we go. You can see this is where I make a lot of my cover photos for YouTube. And I've actually been going through and redoing a lot of my cover photos, like the upselling print and turning down clients and finding great clients and logos and branding and hiring a team. Like all of these cover photos I've been doing, these thumbnails I should call them. These are thumbnails. I've been going through and making them all uniform because I really want my channel, and if you're on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. I want my channel to look top notch. And so in order to do that, you can kind of see a little bit of the background here. Boom. So you can see here, this one's got 3 views, 12 views, 2 views. And I can see the likes on the videos, all that. But if you're actually to look at the dashboard, it gives you even more info. Looks like my average watch time is about 10 minutes and 31 seconds, which is great. Looks like I'm a little bit down on views, which is okay. But you can see I've added 55 new subscribers in the last 28 days. That's almost 2 subscribers a day. That's pretty solid just through LinkedIn. That's all I've been doing is just doing LinkedIn promotion. So it's a really helpful way. And so I really wanted to take some time to kind of just show you a few things. Now, if you look at my channel here, you'll see my thumbnails, how they've evolved and they're changing. And that's just because I've been looking and doing research with other people and seeing what their thumbnails look like. And I want my channels to look clean. So you can see here, there's not a lot of consistency throughout this. Now I use the red on almost every single video, except for this lead generation one, but I want more consistency. I haven't even created thumbnails for these ones, which I probably should. But I have just kind of some scatteredness, and cohesiveness is really, really important. I want all my stuff to look like this. So when people see my videos, they recognize them. They're very clean and very simple. I'll give you a great example of who's doing their thumbnails the right way. And as I'm continuing to make changes to mine, look at this. This is Andre Geek. I can see all the details about him. He's got his top channel, top 20 videos, 536,000 views. It just has some basic details about him, but you can see all of his videos all have the same, his thumbnails, I should say, all have the same style. Simple, clean, and actually that's not his, some of those weren't his, so let me actually go to his channel. It's incredible to watch this guy go from 450,000 or 40,000 when I started watching him to 480 in like a matter of 2 months. It's just unreal. The guy is just such a beast when it comes to YouTube. You can see here, his stuff is very consistent. And that's a big part of why his stuff is getting clicked on, is people are recognizing him. And you notice that he is in every single one of these. And another cool thing is, I noticed is, I didn't know this, but you could probably get some use out of this, is did you know that you can actually buy fake money? So he spent 300 bucks and bought, look at this. Look how many times he's used this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is probably an actual $100 bill. 5. I mean, he's got it all there. 6. He's used this money in so many of his thumbnails. And look at this, trust funds, look at money, money, money. All this money is actually fake money. It's not real money. And what he did is he went online and bought $1 million in fake money. And what I mean by that is they literally printed like a fake $1 million into a duffel bag and sent it to him in the mail. He paid like $300 and something for it. And he's been using it as a prop in all of his videos. So that $300 investment was really smart because it grabs people's attention. People are familiar with it. It's allowed him to look like a baller, allowed him to look like a wealthy investor. Even though it's fake money, it's just a really great prop to kind of communicate the point and the stuff that he's doing. Look at this. Look how his videos evolved. Check this out. If you look here, you'll notice. So he had this thumbnail, right? It was a little different. And then he's got this one that's even more different. It's kind of like way off in left field. And he's got one, this was kind of similar. And then he's using this that kind of evolved. And as you go back, you can tell his videos, his thumbnails weren't always as consistent. They did bounce around a little bit in the beginning. This is the first video that I watched of his that caught my attention a year ago. Can you believe that? A year ago, this guy started. So it just goes to show that if you're a great talent on YouTube and you have content that people want and you know how to do the searches and how to find, like with using Google Trends and for people to be able to track you on Google Trends, this is just an incredibly powerful tool to be able to get attention. And this guy has built, like I got the same light. This guy has just built such an influential page and profile on YouTube with his videos, and he's just getting better and better. His videos are getting better. His thumbnails are getting better. If you see his last video that he made, in fact, he uploaded one like late last night at like 10 o'clock at night or something like that. But if you look at his other videos, like this bank fail one, they're just such top-notch videos, man. They're just really, really good quality. I highly recommend checking him out, Andre Geek. He's a cinematographer. He's a cardistry guy, so he does crazy tricks with cards, and just a really talented guy, and talks about finances and how to weather this storm with the coronavirus. It's a lot of fun to watch his videos and get inspired by him. So let's check this out. Let me minimize that. Let's just see. Let me hit stop share. And go into here. So I'm not sure how many people I have. Let's see here. Anybody jumping on with me? Nobody yet. What is the deal? We're almost 15 minutes in, man. Well, I got another video that's going to be dropping tomorrow. It's a great video. I've been working on it for a couple weeks, actually. This is a bigger video that I wanted to work on and send to you guys and help you guys kind of get some breakthrough in some of the things that you're doing with your marketing, and just help you kind of understand what the work at home stuff is like. Since everybody's working from home now, I wanted to make a video about that, and just help you wrap your mind around how easy it is to actually make money online and work from home and live that laptop lifestyle. In 2014, I actually joined up with a company, an online mentoring training program that if you're interested in, I can get you hooked up with. It's very, very expensive. It's like over $7,500. They do have a payment plan, but I joined this program just thinking, hey man, if I could just build a network and learn a few extra things. And I ended up thinking getting a little bit better deal than that at the time because it was just brand new. It was like within the first 100 members. And it kind of shifted my mindset away from having to be business to business in the sense of going to their locations and actually working online and building digital properties. And so I started building Drought Lawn and a bunch of different websites. I started realizing that even if I built 100 websites and if I was only charging $500 a piece, that's some freaking significant money. And I could have a whole team manage that and still make more than enough money to live the life that I wanted on my terms and not have to be stuck behind a desk working for somebody doing a 9 to 5. And so I've been doing that now for, man, we're going on to 6 years here, and it's been an amazing blessing. But I still go to my clients' offices. I still meet face to face. Oh man, some indigestion or something. I ate these amazing hash brown bites, but I still go to my clients' offices. I still meet face to face because I love that part of the business. I love having that personal connection. I would rather be doing this kind of a Q&A in front of a room full of 10, 20, 30 people, or even just one-on-one. I love interacting with people face to face and getting to have that human connection. That's just what I thrive off of. It fills me up. It makes me excited. And I feel fulfilled when I get to do that. So I would love to kind of talk to you about a few of those things in my next video, which will go live tomorrow on Wednesday. It's going to be an awesome video. I know you guys will love it. I got a lot of amazing content that I've been wrapping up, planning, strategizing stuff here. I can't show you yet, but got a great video coming for you guys. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And I really wanted to get some feedback. I wanted to hear some people here. Let's see if I can go back to Facebook, see what's going on. I posted that graphic yesterday on all of our pages, and let's see, we should be seeing some logins here. Let's see. A lot of people liking my posts, that's for sure. But nobody jumping on, and that's okay. Well, I know these these YouTube lives can be difficult, especially since people are trying to find entertainment. And this isn't exactly entertainment, but I'm using this time to try and help people as much as I possibly can and do some free trainings and just share some of the stuff that I'm doing. I've recently learned some new strategies with video editing, adding progress bars in, and just some really neat stuff that you'll see. If you're on TikTok, definitely follow me. It's just my name. I didn't do the Mr. Boy Sell thing. Unfortunately, hindsight being 2020, I just signed up a while ago without putting in my custom username, and I believe I'm stuck with it now. So if you're on TikTok, just type in my name, Adrian, ADRIANBOYSEL. You can see here, I did this last night. Let's see. There we go. Let's see, pretty cool, right? You can actually add it in the graphic, you can scale it. I did that just for TikTok. So this is something we're going to be offering our clients and helping them scale their videos for all the different social platforms to get more bandwidth, something that I think you guys will find really valuable, and this will really help. So jump on. If you're not here yet, let me do this. And you know what? I might want to just post something out to the Facebook world here. Let me just do this. Let's see here if anybody's watching. Let's see what is going on. All right. Hiring team. Oh man, this was such a great video. I want to encourage you guys. There was just so many gold nuggets and so many great questions that I asked Frank Salas, the talented Mr. Salas. If you haven't had the chance to see this video yet, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's a really great video. This guy is super talented and he's built a huge team. And I'm going to share a little story that he told me that I was just like absolutely floored. So in 2011, I officially incorporated my company and opened up my agency officially, but I was doing a lot of freelance consulting work. So I was going to my clients' offices and, I had a web developer. What the heck was his name? Oh my gosh, I can't even think of his name off. I think it was Josh. He was a programmer and all he did was programming and I did all the design work. I was basically wearing all the hats It was a ton of work, man. Ton of work. But I was just a small mom and pop, but I was still making 100 to 150, 160,000 a year doing that. It was great. It was great money, but I knew that there was more opportunities out there. And so I opened up an actual office and started bringing in people and had a team that I accumulated. And through all of that effort, I ended up ramping up the company to, I think we had about 4 or 5 people in 2016. And then it continued to grow, and I ramped it up to about 7 or 8 people. And man, they were all just firing on all cylinders. And then I went through a really tough time of my life, and I had some significant overheads. I, I can't even I can't even imagine, like, can't even tell you how hard it was, but you can't even imagine just between my child and a divorce and just some things that happened. It kind of took me out mentally. As much as I tried to be in the game and be present, a lot of my team was frustrated and disappointed with the amount of attention I had been giving to the business, and so I lost a few people because of that. Some hard lessons I had to learn there. They went off and started their own businesses, which I'm grateful that they did. They were very resilient. They were able to take the knowledge and stuff that I taught them and apply it and help them continue on with their life, which is awesome. I just want to see the best for people. And then I decided to kind of rehire and revamp up. Just after that, I started to come out of that hard season, and just as I did that, I got blindsided again with a court case and a kidnapping and all kinds of crazy stuff, and took me out again. And as much as I tried to recover from that, I had to take that hit, and so I had to scale back again, and I had to let go of like 3 people, and it was just it's a long story. I could go into all the details, but it was a challenge, and this was only 2017, so this isn't that long ago. And so I had to kind of restructure and pivot. And I had a guy that came up to me that was working for me at the time, and he just looked me in my eye and he said, "Look, man, why do you want to run an agency?" And I was like, uh and I thought about it for a minute, and I really sat there and I thought, and I'm like, well, I love digital marketing, and I think I told him that I love digital marketing, but I don't. I really don't. And he goes, I know that. I've known that. I've been watching you for a month. And the one thing I could tell you right now that I've seen is that you don't enjoy running an agency. That is not your passion. Your passion is coaching and teaching and consulting. When you're in that conference room and you're whiteboarding and you're explaining things and teaching things and going through things, the results that people get and watching their jaws drop and all the things that happen that I've seen when you're doing your thing where you are in your total like space where you're supposed to be, when you're in your calling, he goes, you are better than anybody that I've ever seen. He goes, and that's what you should be doing is you have no interest in doing the day-to-day minutia of running an agency. That's not what you're interested in. He's like, you're interested in teaching people and helping them get breakthrough with the digital marketing. That's what you love about digital marketing. And I'm like, yep. It's not the flower, it's the firepower, just like in Mario, right? And I use that example pretty often, but it's the truth. I mean, a lot of people want the flower not because they want the flower, but they want the firepower. And it's the same thing with businesses. I wanted an agency because I wanted to help business owners. I wanted to help them grow, and I know that digital marketing nowadays in 2020 is the way to do it. If you can't reach the potential with anything else other than digital marketing, I'm telling you, print, mail, TV, radio, it doesn't matter what it is, all the traditional marketing and advertising methods, guerrilla marketing, door to door, whatever, retail, none of it is as powerful as digital marketing. And that's what I love about digital marketing. It's so powerful. And I have such an affinity towards it because it's done so much for me in my career. And I've watched it make such transformative things happen for businesses that I know the proof is in the pudding. I've watched people make millions of dollars that were 16, 17, 18 years old and older just off of digital marketing alone. So I just know that the power behind that is so huge. But running an agency was not my calling, and it is not my calling. So that's why I've got an amazing team that is running the show pretty much on my behalf. I'm overseeing things like they say. There's that famous saying. I can't remember who it was. Jim Rohn, I believe it is. Trust but verify, and that's super true. So I have to go in there and I trust my team, but I have to verify, make sure that things aren't getting missed, that we're not skipping over things, that things aren't being looked over. And so I have very little day to day involvement in the operations that are going on. My team handles 90% of that work, and I could not be more grateful for them. But my real passion and where I'm having the most breakthrough and making a lot of noise in the community is stuff like this, is meeting up with clients face to face, doing events, doing trainings, doing group workshops, like stuff like that. That's where I'm going to make the greatest impact. And now, if you watched my previous video to the last one I posted, my mentorship program. I'm going to help recruit mentors from all over the world. And I want each one of those mentors over a course of hopefully a year to get 3 kids, 3 at-risk kids, 3 fatherless kids, 3 youth that need direction, that need guidance, that need leadership, to jump on board and offer that friendship to them. And that's one of my biggest passions. So I'm using the time that I've been given, the freedom that I've been given, because of my amazing team, to make a greater impact in the world, which is just attracting bigger clients. I'm using a different hook with a different bait. I'm fishing in a different pond. The types of clients that I have are the best clients I've ever worked with. I will never go back to what I did before with working with people who don't appreciate what I do, or just looking for the best price, the best deal. You would be surprised about how many of those are out there. For the longest time, the majority of my clients were like that, and even some of the bigger ones. They were very ungrateful. They were very micromanaging. They were very hard to deal with. And that was a lot of my fault. And it's easy to pass the blame on them, but it's really important to take responsibility for your shortcomings. And my shortcomings that I have failed with over the years as an entrepreneur, that I've been really learning to overcome, has been my expectations up front. And communicating expectations up front is the difference between having a successful agency and having an agency that fails. And if you want a successful agency, then you need to get all of those hard things, especially the tough stuff that the clients aren't going to really want to hear. You need to share that stuff right from the beginning. Make that the beginning of your talk. Make that the beginning of your meeting. Make sure that make of your strategy session, whatever that is, you need to get that out of the way as quickly as possible, because that will kill your business faster than anything else. Is unrealistic expectations. And I still have some clients that are somewhat that way, but I've been able to share and remind them of the communications that we had in the very beginning, and the meetings that we had, and the agreements that were made, of those expectations. And it resets it, makes it sure that we're back on the same page again. And you can even put it in writing, which I would highly recommend. So just another great thing. So as we're kind of closing in, I've been on here for, man, a half an hour. I can't believe how fast time is going by. I can't believe nobody jumped on here out of all the Facebook Live stuff that I'm doing. I'm curious. I'm going to go in here and see if anybody's viewed it, because I really expected there to be some people in here with almost a couple hundred people watching. You'd think there'd be some people. So let's see here. Videos. We go live. See if this works. Pulling this up. Yeah, I'm live. No views. What is that about, man? See what I'm talking about? Failure. But you know what? That's okay. First attempt in learning. And this may not be my first live, my first attempt in learning, but I guarantee you, in a year from now, when I do a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live, and when I do Facebook Lives, I have a crazy amount of people that are jumping on. Usually close to 100 to 200 people watch my Facebook Live videos. But with YouTube, this is something that's brand new. I've only done like 3 of them total. So I know it's going to take some time. You got to be patient. You got to let people know that this is something you're even doing. I didn't promote it because I don't have the ability to promote it on YouTube, that I was going to be doing a live today. So I'm sure it's taking some time for people to catch on. I'd love to be able to add a description into this. Let's see here. Q&A digital marketing Tuesday. Digital marketing training. Okay, there, I'm gonna hit save on that. And then what I'll do is, after this is done, I'll create a cool thumbnail like the other ones that you saw. I'll upload that. Whoops, let me close out Illustrator and go back to you guys. But I will actually jump in and create that. So we're closing in on my 30 minutes. Just my closing thoughts, man. You just got to go out there and keep trying. You got to keep making it happen. You got to keep trying. You can't give up. I post videos now 3 days a week. For me, that's a big deal. I mean, I used to do my radio show, the actual radio show, before it was just a podcast. And I was doing that 1 day a week. And the amount of preparation and time and things that I would do before that show was huge. It was a big commitment. Not only was it a big commitment of my time, but it was a big commitment of my money. It cost me a lot of money to do that show. So I've had a lot of practice since then. I've been practicing for a couple of years now of interviewing people, and I really love interviewing. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos, that's a big area that I'm focusing in on now, especially after the conference that we just had, the City Gala and City Summit conference last month. That was a big eye opener for me. People seeing my worth and my value as an MC and an interviewer. I just want to get back out there and do these events. So I'm just praying that all of you guys have a safe and successful week. It's already Tuesday. The week's going to go by quick. We are going to get through all this stuff together. I don't want you to fear. I found myself yesterday driving through Roseville, California, which there's a mall there. And that's actually the town that I was born in. And I was driving down the main drag where the mall is, right? The mall was completely empty, not a single car in the parking lot. I looked down that as we're coming off the freeway, I'm like, geez. And then we come onto the main road. It's called Galleria Boulevard, and there was no cars. I literally saw like 3 total cars coming up and down the road. And usually on a Monday night at 6 o'clock at night, which it was, that road would have been packed with traffic and cars and backed up and honking and just absolute nightmare. And it was empty. So I know that everybody's at home, everybody's on YouTube. People are really trying to heed and be cautious of this corona thing. I know that the symptoms are not horrible. I know there's a lot of conspiracies and just a lot of stuff out there that you could grab onto and say, oh, there's an agenda and there's a cult and all these bigger things that are happening. But the reality is no one's being hurt by being at home. You may be losing some money right now. You may be out of a job, but physically you're alive. You're probably well, I hope. And no one's suffering because they're having to stay home. And so the people that are suffering are the elderly people, which I truly love and care about. I care about everybody, but I have an affinity for the older generation because that's who raised me. My grandmother raised me. I went to her bowling tournaments, her bowling league every single week. And I learned a lot of what I talk about, and a lot of the principles and a lot of the foundations and values that I have today are because of those people that I met throughout my life. And we cannot discount them. They are an important generation to us, regardless of where they're at, regardless of the conspiracies and all that. We do need to take them into consideration. We do need to be cautious of this corona thing and just making sure that we keep them out of harm, and that we do our best to quarantine ourselves and just keep ourselves with our families for now. And I know this stuff is going to be over fast. A lot of people think that we're never going to be the same again. And you know what? I believe that in some ways we will never be the same again. I think that the way we communicate as a team, some of the efficiencies, those are all going to change. My buddy John and I were talking about, like I talked in the very beginning of this video, about how the workforce is going to change because of live streaming and how big live streaming is actually going to be. And it's going to remove all of that time. Like when you go into the office and you have the face-to-face stuff and you're chit chatting and talking about what happened last night and talking about a crazy story and this, and all of that inefficiency that happens is going to disappear when it comes to doing work from home, because there's not going to be any of that. There's not going to be the socializing that there is with being in person and having group meetings. So I think businesses are really going to be able to trim down their costs, their overhead, and a lot of the roles that they realized that they were paying people for are going to get trimmed out, and they're going to be able to consolidate, and one person will be able to handle 2 different roles, and a lot of the efficiencies will come back, and it's going to make business better overall, I think, in the long run. So I think there's going to be some permanent changes there, because how much technology is going to be, people are going to be reliant on technology. Zoom, I know, is blowing up. They can't even keep up with the recordings that are happening. So there's just a lot of impacts that are happening. But in terms of our economy, I believe that we will be back to normal and probably better in 6 months from now. I know it's going to take some time, but we're going to be back, and this corona thing will be curved and gone probably before the end of the month. I'm hoping maybe sooner, but I know it's going to go away quick. And so I'm just holding on for now, just holding on for dear life, as some would say, hodl. And you just got to be grateful for what we got. I mean, we're all alive, and at least the world wasn't taken out by a worse pandemic. I mean, imagine if this was SARS and it was spreading all over the world. When SARS happened, I think there was about 10,000 people that passed away, and out of those 10,000 people, most of those, I think like 98% of those were like in Africa. That is a flesh-eating disease. That is way worse, in my opinion, than this corona thing. I think the corona thing is blown up bigger than it needs to be. I think it is dangerous for older people, but I'm not worried about it for myself. I know they've said that some young people have passed away from it, but I've got a healthy immune system. I got an amazing wife who's making incredible elderberry syrup at crunchycottage.com. And so I know I'm ready for it. I know my family's ready for it. And all I can do is just encourage you guys to just be grateful. Remember that God's in control of all of this, and this place is just temporary. So that's all I got for you today. I went a few more minutes over 30, but I just really wanted to share my heart with that, because I think a lot of people are getting antsy and getting frustrated and getting stir crazy with being at home all the time. But find ways to use this time, man. I'm writing my book. I've been staying up late, transcribing videos and taking my content. And I'm going to have my book done by May 19th, my grandpa's birthday. Then I'll send it off to an editor. And I'm sure by July or August, that'll be ready to publish and it'll hit the press. And I'm hoping I can have it out towards the end of the year. So definitely want to look forward to that. And there's just a lot of great stuff coming. So look forward to the future. Got Tag Talks. Tag Talks is coming. I'm doing a TED Talk in Folsom. So just a lot of cool stuff coming. So just be hopeful, be grateful. Just know that I'm with you. That you're in my prayers. My country, the country is in my prayers. And if you ever need anything, just drop a comment, say hello, introduce yourself. We have a mentorship program, meekmentors.com. Get connected with me. I'd love to help you out in any way that I can. Just have a blessed day out there. God bless you guys. I love you. And as always, keep looking up.